Okay, so to render it out, first we need to set up our resolution of the print out of the output. So under document right now, this is it, 14,000. So we can specify them. Now, if your geometry are a little square looking, you might want to go with a square. Like for example, this is kind of square, right? We can render as a square unless it's required to be on screen. So if it's on screen, you probably not want a square. So now we can turn off proportion, and let's pretend I'm gonna do a 2000 by 2000 because I think these will look good on the composition, because based on the based on the form of the collector. Now, after you've done that, you click resize, and it will say resizing, yes, and you need to redraw. That's all. I'm going to do Control N to clear the screen and redraw it. Okay. And then turn on Edit. Now, my monitor are not large as 2000 pixel, so I need to zoom this out. Zoom it out. And at this point, let me change the color of my background a little bit. So I'm going to click on there. So that's slightly different than this section, because otherwise I can't tell which one is which. Then I'm going to have to dolly. Here we go. So let's do that angle. Actually, my square doesn't look good at all. Probably has to be, yeah. Well, now that's it. And we're gonna test. We're gonna render. Before you render, put the render menu, dock it to the side palettes. Let's take a look at this. Turn on floor, because we want to cast shadow on y-axis on the floor. And perspective. Now, on perspectives, under draw, you can change the camera angle as you desire. So this is a 50. So I think 50 you get a little distortion. 85 you get less. Lower you get more distortion. That's up to you. Okay, pick one of them, and then test render, see how it look. Now, first thing we need to go to render property. I didn't really talk detail much last time, so this time I think I'm going to do now the detail 3 is mean these will be safe because 2000. 1 is mean 1000. 2 2000, and 3 3000. However, if you do like 25,000 pixel rendering one side, or longer size 3000, to be safe you might want to go this up a little higher to 4. It's anti-aliasing basically, and somehow Zebra set it up at, yeah.
When I did the resize, it doesn't go to a 2000 by 2000 screen.
Under document, make sure you type this in and turn this off.
It's off. And
Okay.
when I clicked it, it still didn't make it a 2000 by 2000.
Wait, what do you want again? What resolution you want? I'm gonna try it. You want 2000 by 2000, right?
Yeah, that's what
okay.
You did.
So now let me increase. How about 25, so that you can see how I do it. Okay, 25 by 25 by 25, and then click resizing, and that's it. And then now clear the screen, Control N, and then zoom out. There. Oh, I have to draw first. Draw. Hey, I zoom out to, okay, here you go. And then edit, and then now use zoom to zoom out so that you can see your frame, and then you dolly in. Try it again, see if it works. work. Okay, so I think this might be too tight. When you do, you don't want to be like super tight unless you do close up or medium close up, something like that. Give a little breathing room, and the ground plane. Let me tumble this quick. Here we go. When you look at on the ground plane, like this is the horizontal line. You want horizontal line to be like maybe 1/3 of the screen. It can be 1/3 from the top, 1/3 from the bottom. It doesn't matter. It looks better than half and half, or 1/4 or 1/5. So now, resolution for 3D polarized, we don't use it. This, if you want to make it look like a cartoon looking, so that you can polarize them to like maybe 4 color, 3 step, things like that. So this means if I set these 3 exponent should be it's about 3 or more. Okay, so we are not going to use that. Now you turn on shadow. I gotta skip this. Now there's a smooth normal. We don't need to turn on because we already have high res. Later on, when we do a low res on the second project, we're gonna have low res and high res. We will turn this on. So it's like in Maya, when you press 3 in Maya software, and from the low res will become high res on screen only, and it appear on rendering the same thing with the smooth normal. Turn on occlusion, ambient occlusion. Now the vibrant is how much vibrant of the color on the shadow you like to do. So I'm gonna just leave it as is, and everything else. Now some people like to turn on wax preview, so just give the surface look a little waxy. So you can try to play around if you like. Now we don't have transparency, so we don't need to turn on. So, and one more thing, everything else just leave as is. So the next thing is BPR shadow. So now this is set to 40, by default probably 12. You want the angle to be a little higher, so that shadow a little softer. Let's test render, see how it looks. And the resolution of the shadow though, ideally if you have 2500, you want either 25 or up. Will have a better quality on the shadow detail. And shadow detail is not just only detail of the shadow, also detail of the surface also. Here we go. So it looked like that. Now the angle right now is 10, so can you see? Let's add like double to 40, see how much it's soft. We'll soften the edge of the shadow a little more. So yes.
What window are you in? Because I can't find the
rendering. Under rendering, and look at on the BPR shadow. You have to dock it right here under render. Grab it and dock it to the side. So we look at two settings. Under render property, turn on shadow and ambient occlusion, and then resolution of the shadow. That's the main thing we wanted to use right now. And now the V depth and L depth. V is a view depth and light depth. Don't change it, because those will push the shadow either close to, by default set to 0, shadow will close to the subject. If you push it out, because it's fake, it's not a real shadow, it's a map. So you can push it away too. So now to make the shadow a little softer, you have to increase the angle and bring up the rays, a little higher rays. Now higher number, taking longer to render, and that's it. Now let's say we're done rendering, and we're gonna go to render paths. This is how you save your file. If you think that you will not edit them, this is what you like. That's it, I'm done. You could save as a composition right away, so you don't have to retouch them at all. So when you click on that, you can change to, I think would be better to save to both TIFF and JPEG, or Photoshop and JPEG. JPEG so that you can upload it right away. If you for Photoshop, you wanted to use Photoshop or TIFF to be editing more, because those has no TIFF still has compressed, but it's really little. Still compressed though, but really little. JPEG is a big compression, so you lose quality every time you resave them. TIFF, no, it's gonna maintain the original save. Photoshop is the same. Now PNG is supposed to be better than JPEG. I didn't know much about PNG yet because I haven't really looked into it. For sure, it less compression, but I don't know it's gonna recompress every time you resave it or not. I have to look at online, but JPEG does. So JPEG is the worst, not the worst one, the small one that you wanted to upload to screen or web, but it's not for saving as an original for editing. Okay, so in this case, I would save as a TIFF. Now let's do PSD, and you should name it. So I'm gonna name Zach. I'm gonna put com. Here we go. And that's the only thing you need to submit it on the D2L, but more detail. So it's mean like I'm gonna zoom in a little closer, close up on his face, so that I can show off the detail, maybe side profile or whatever you like to try. I think these two sides has to be a little angle, and I'm gonna render it again. You can use this button too, PPR. And now the render pass, these are subpixel. It's similar to anti-alias. If you see a little pixelation on the edge, you might need to bump this up a little more, like maybe 4 or 5, and then render. So I'd like you to submit different images, at least 4 images of your rendering. Here we go, and then I'm gonna save, and I'm gonna call, I should have called full body close up, extreme close up. Here we go, and that's it. That's how you render it. Now to set the lights though, you just use a light menu. Here we go. So you already set that, a few of them. That's good. Okay. And now what if you wanted to control the shadow color? So in this case, let's pretend I'm gonna save the shadow. So Zach explode close up, and I'm gonna call shadow. Oh, I forgot to change the oh no, shadow. So we're gonna use Photoshop to modify them, and then I'm gonna click save. Now I do not save the shade. Shade will also have that shadow. I don't know why. They're supposed to be separated. And this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go to a render property and turn off shadow and ambient occlusion. And then I'm gonna render pass one more time. Don't move the camera, don't reposition. And then now I can save the shade only. Okay, so in this case I can control my shadow by going to Photoshop. Okay, let me open up Photoshop. Oh guys, I have to side in again. Hold on guys, I need to side in. Code do not show again. Come on. So that would be 2. All right. Now I can use Photoshop. Okay. So I'm gonna load those two images. You could use AutoMath and no, script, and then use load file into stack quicker. Browse PC. Oh wait, where did I save it? Hold on. Oh, it's somewhere out there. ETSU. Okay, that's fine. And exact project. Here we go. So shadow and shade. Okay, here we go. What? Crash on me. Oh, hey guys, sometimes Photoshop caused the problem. So let's save to TIFF format. Sometimes it does that. This one will be a shade. Okay. Shade.tiff. Okay. And then I have to go back to re-render again one more time because I lost that. Render pass. Here we go. This one will have shadow. Almost done. And then I'll show you how to prepare for 3D printing. Okay, this one has shadow, so I'm gonna save only shadow. TIFF. Oh, the first one is a shade, so okay, I'm gonna reverse the name. Here we go. So now this should work this time. Hey guys, if you have a problem like mine, when try to stack Photoshop together and it just crash, use TIFF format instead. Here we go. And this shouldn't have any problem. Here we go. So now I have one without shadow, and then this the shadow, and I'm gonna select the shadow, overlay, and change the blend mode. So can you see darker color? Let's do multiply. Multiply, because multiply is ignore white color. So now I can dim this by reduce the opacity of my shadow layer. Can you see? So you have better control. I would suggest you to do this. You get better result when you're compositing it. And then you can touch up the highlight if you need to, stuff like that. So see, it's really simple. This is 100%. I used multiply. I can reduce so that the shadow a little lighter. Okay. And if you export the masking, let me go back quick. I did not. Under render pass, I'm gonna do mask. Save only the masking. I'm gonna call mask. And you can mask out and put your own background. I mean, I think background is one color would be better, or gradient color. So here we go, and then I'm gonna Control A, Control A, Control C, Control V, and I'm gonna click Control. Oh no, I can't do Control click. I have to do a magic wand. Click on that, and I'm gonna turn it off. Look like this, right? And I'm gonna assign masking. Here we go. And now I got whatever I wanted to put on. There you go. You see, so that you can retouch them if you want this to be a little highlight or stuff like that. So any questions about this? It's really straightforward. So now when you're done, you need to export it. So don't use quick export as a PNG because the file is larger than JPEG. So use export as and wet and switch to JPEG. Now, right now it's 25,000 or 2,500. It's 700K. When you post it on the D2L, you don't need that. You could go 50% or 1,000. You can just type 1,000, like rename image. So 1,000. Here we go. So 40%, and then you just export all. And quality you can leave as 100 is fine. So let me try to do 70. See what size. Oh, that's like half of it. So let's do 70. Do something here. Just make it low within 100K, and basically you can see if it too pixelated or not. I don't think you need to worry. This is fine for screen. Okay. So and then just export, and that's it. So I'm not saving. Okay. Any questions here?
So you want these renders on ArtStation until by Thursday?
Yeah.
So can we do a longer set meter for extra credit if we want to?
Yes. And post the link. I give extra credit. Anybody?
Do you want corrections made by Thursday as well?
Oh, hold on. For the revision, I'll give you 1 more week from now. For people who, if you can get it done early, let me know. I can start it to print. So now this is how to print. Let me start.